Okay. All right. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Mango, or TheeMaskedMango, and this uh, silly little game in front of you is Superliminal. I'm going to briefly go over what this game and this category is before I get started, because within the first like 15 seconds, I'm going to be doing our first glitch, and I kind of want to talk about that when we get to it. So, Superliminal is a first-person puzzle platformer all about perspective. Perception is reality is like the big motto of this game, I guess. Depending on how we perceive certain objects that we pick up, we can change the actual physical size of them depending on how we see them. And we're going to be doing all kinds of wacky glitches and just shenanigans all throughout the game in order to pick up every single collectible item within it. There are like almost 200 total collectibles. I forget exactly how many, but somewhere around there. So before we go in, we're going to go into the achievements menu, reset achievements and tracked items, which will just respawn all of the collectibles. Excuse me. And time will begin as soon as we walk through the very first door. So let's go ahead and say in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Alright, so like I said, within the first 15 or so seconds, we're going to pick up this rook, turn it kind of like so, jump on top of this box, resize it above ourselves, and so when we jump, we get sent through the ceiling, extremely high in the air, and we can just traverse across above the map and make our way to our first collectible. Much faster than you probably should. So we're gonna land in this room, but we can grab this little guy right here and move on through the rest of the level mostly as intended. So just make our way. There is a really good example of the perspective mechanic. Made that cube really small, sent that cube over the wall, and we can move on. All right. Thank you for the good luck, by the way. In this next room, I'm going to grab this exit sign, rotate it like so, walk up to the door, double click, resize it, and boom. Alright, and something you may have noticed by now, but if you look in the top left corner of the game screen, we do have a nice little in-game timer that will remove time spent in the loading screen. So that's always nice. We're going to jump on a bit of the level that sticks out of the wall there, so that we can come over here and grab our blueprint. Our first blueprint of the run. And just like that, we finished up the first level. Pretty normal Superliminal experience so far. Nothing too ridiculously challenging in the first level, but as is any introductory level, it really shouldn't be that hard. Excuse me. So, moving into optical. As you may guess from the name of the level, we're going to be dealing with all kinds of wacky optical illusions and very trippy images. So, enjoy, I guess. Just like this dead end, quote unquote, turns into a hallway. Very cool. You may have also noticed just the massive amount of, of fire alarms and fire extinguishers. And those are what we like to call our minor collectibles, because in total, throughout the game, there are combined 150. So they make up a huge majority of our collectibles that we're going to be getting. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of those. I missed that one. That's so rude. We're going to be seeing a whole bunch of them throughout the game, but other collectible types that we're going to be seeing, because there's 5 different types. We're going to be seeing, like I mentioned, fire alarms, like that one, fire extinguishers, like the one behind me now. We're going to be seeing chess pieces, blueprints, and constellation rooms. We've seen 4 out of the 5 types so far, but we're making our way to our very first constellation room. Spoilers. um, the constellation rooms are so cool, in my opinion, like the coolest collectible type. But what I'm doing here with this door is something called a warp launch. By making the door super big, rotating it inside of myself, and confusing the game, I guess. When I let go of it, the game gets a little angry and has to decide what to do with the fact that our hitboxes collided, and it just kind of sends it away, or sends me away by sending me up. So shout out to that door, I guess. Resetting checkpoint there, just because it's a little bit, it's a little bit faster than walking back out of that room. Grab that fire extinguisher, that fire alarm, make our way over here, pull that chess piece outside of the wall, I guess. This game makes sense, I promise. Do something called a slide launch with that cube. All kinds of different launches. Hard to keep up, I know. Slide launch works kind of the same way as warp launch, where hitboxes collide and the game gets a little angry, except we push the cube into and then back out of the wall into the player. I think that made some amount of sense. But now I just grab the moon out of the sky, you know, as you do. Casual superliminal experience. We're gonna be doing another jump launch like we did at the start of the run with this soda can, where we're going to be bringing this door with us onto the roof so that we can grab this blueprint, size the door up a little bit, hop on through, and whee! Into the elevator. Finishing up the second level. Alright, moving on to one of my favorite levels in the entire game, Cubism. We're going to be dealing with a lot of cubes, as, you know, you may be able to guess from the name, once again. But hopefully this run is making at least an amount of sense. This is one of the speedruns of all time. But moving into our second constellation room, we're going to be getting the famous mug constellation. Surely everyone knows about that one, right? Not resetting checkpoint for this one, just because the checkpoint is at the start of the level, and that takes a while to get to, or to get from. So... honestly, same. But Cubism is such a cool level because, yeah, we have a bunch of cubes. But in this room, there is a cube in this room, I promise, but we're just gonna ignore it. Because why would we play the game the way it's supposed to be? Grabbing this chess piece through that vent, you know, makes sense, I guess. We're gonna bring this half cube with us for a tiny little bit of out of bounds a little bit later, after I grab these guys. Alright, I'm gonna bring this guy, jump through the wall, as you do. Try to launch ourselves upward, but not quite. Instead, we're going to do something called jump resizing with the cube. We jump and size the cube up underneath us to make it a little bit bigger, so that we can reach something that we couldn't before. And yeah, we'll see a bunch more cubes throughout this level, just like these here, that look like normal cubes, but they slide outside of the floor and through the wall, because of course they do. This game makes no sense. I love it. Excuse me, please. Thank you. And like this cube turns into a bunch of sides of cubes, because makes sense. This cube explodes into a bunch of pieces, so we just grab one, size that one up, and we can move on. And this cube also breaks at the side, because of course it does. Alright, one more little hop on this pole to grab this blueprint, and we're pretty much done with the third level. We're kind of zooming. Just a couple more collectibles on the way, and this little hallway segment we'll be seeing throughout like the entire game. Pretty much almost every level finishes in this little hallway sequence. And the one bit of like consistency with this game, I guess. But moving into the quote-unquote horror level of this game, scary times incoming. Dun dun dun. Blackout. A little bit later, there's going to be a little small section of flashing lights. So if flashing lights upset you, or you have some photosensitivity issues, might want to look away for like 30 seconds. So just little heads up. Once we get into this hallway to my left here, the lights are gonna start flashing and eventually turn off. So look away for now. I will let you know when you are good to come back. Just a little bit more flashing lights, and then we will all be good. And flashing lights are over. You are good to come back. But now that we have made it through the spooky flashing lights section, we're going to be pushing this canister through this barrier, which you're absolutely not supposed to do, I promise, so that we can perform another warp launch later on. But we have our little companion canister for now until we eventually do the warp launch and it gets deleted. So sad. So we're going to size this one up once again, rotate it inside of ourselves, and just hold on to it for a bit. So, Twitch chat, how we doing? Are our brains melting yet? Because wee part 2. That was like the perfect launch, by the way. I love that for me. Now we're on top of the level for a brief moment, so we can grab this red light here and bring it with us, because we're going to be doing another warp launch, but this one's extra special because this red light within the object won't get removed when we launch with it, so the entire level is just kind of glowing red now, because the light itself, the object got deleted, but the light didn't, if that makes sense. So if you were to like no clip out of bounds or launch yourself out of bounds in some way, you would just see a giant red light just in the void, and it's so cool to go and look at. Right there, I grabbed one of the blueprints through those cabinets, and I'm going to attempt to do something called bean skip with this light here by jump resizing it. That was actually kind of perfect. I'm really proud of myself for that one. It's called bean skip because if you were to look through those windows there, you could grab a can of beans and launch yourself with that instead. But bean skip is not only faster, it's also just cooler, so we love to see that. And that finishes out these scary times. And we're moving on to my actual favorite level of the game, Clone. Anyone want to take a guess what the gimmick of this level is? If you guessed duplicating objects, you're absolutely right. Except this first object that we grab, you actually don't duplicate for some reason. Don't ask me, I genuinely don't know. Is it triangles? Yes, you get it. You got it. But these fire alarms now get duplicated. This door now gets duplicated. This alarm clock that I'm going to be interacting with in this next room will get duplicated, and I'm going to be doing a special kind of launch with it, because in this level, for some strange unknown reason, you can look straight down, and when you jump and let go of that alarm clock while it's inside of you, for some reason, once again, game gets a little confused, game gets a little angry, and launches you up. And that genre of launch, I guess, only works because in this particular level, once again, we're allowed to look straight down. So that particular launch cannot be done anywhere else. I am very sad about that because it's so cool. Also, loud fan. How rude. Alright. And we're moving on to the second half of the level here. Grabbing another chest piece on top of this little vent here. Dropping back down. Loud fan this runner. Oh, that's so good. Excuse me. Thank you. Where was I? We're gonna come over here and grab this checkpoint and go back. I did not forget something, I promise. Because once we grab this constellation room here, we're going to reset the checkpoint, and because it's just a little bit faster to run forward and grab that checkpoint a little bit early, and then just reset to checkpoint. Very cool. Tiny time saves, we love those. And I'm really sad now because we're finishing my favorite level of the game. Sad face. Don't forget that one. That would have been really sad. So, moving into every Superliminal runner's favorite level. I'm lying to you. Dollhouse. The source of time loss in every category ever. Because one of the big gimmicks of this level is resizing portals. The big portal. So not only will we be resizing the portals that we go through, but in effect, we'll be kind of, I guess, resizing the player. And if we mess up the sizing of the portals, we mess up the sizing of the player, and we can't really progress if we do that. So we have to be a little careful. But trying to go fast and trying to be careful, kinda hard to do both at the same time, and that's kinda sad. So we'll see how we do. So once we drop down into this room, we'll be met with our first dollhouse. Bum bum bum. There are sort of... I ran out of mouse room, that's upsetting. There are sort of lineups that I do use to make it a little bit easier, a little bit less painful, but still very possible to mess up. But with the portals, the bigger you make the portal, the smaller you end up, and we don't want to be too small, because then we're slow, and being slow is kind of stinky. We also don't want to be too big. Excuse me. We also don't want to be too big, because then we won't fit through the doors. I'm having struggles speaking. Forgive me. But yeah, this level is very, very, very cool, but also very, very easy to mess up. That's extremely rude, how dare you. We have to play Jenga in the absolutely intended way. I win, or something. Make this window about there. so that we don't forget that fire alarm. Grab this chest piece, this blueprint. Grab this guy a little bit early if I can. I can't from there, that's sad. Grab this guy a little bit early so I can climb on top of it. And grab this, excuse me, this blueprint. Alright. And this is the big sadness point of the game. This bouncy castle is the source of all of the time loss ever. But we made it. We did okay. I am a little small because I kind of goofed the sizing, but that's okay. Little mini time loss isn't the end of the world. Going to use one portal to make ourselves small enough to get through. I kind of goofed a tiny bit. I was thinking in glitchless strategies. Oopsies. Make this portal super big so that once we make it through, we can grab this blueprint on top of here. There we go. And now make the final dollhouse of the level just big enough so we can fall through the map. That wasn't supposed to happen. I guess I'm about to say the thing. That's never happened before. Yippee! Right. I guess we can finish the level like normal. Yippee! Right. That's a thing that happened. Also, you have to pet the cat. Oh, I love that. That's so funny. Right. Finishing out Dollhouse. One that's never happened before so far. Well, let's see if we get a second. Moving into Labyrinth, we're going to be doing some audio skips. So I'm going to focus up a tiny bit and stop yapping. So that if I did that right, we should have skipped one of the dialogue triggers of this level. I did not. That's big sad. The reason I'm trying to skip these audio triggers is the way this beginning portion of this level works is I think I missed some collectibles. I'm gonna go back. Is once the final dialogue file of this portion finishes, this instruction one, once that one finishes, we will be teleported to the next part of the level. I didn't miss them. And now my lineup is gonna be kind of scuffed. That's okay. Labyrinth is a water level, right? Kind of, actually. There is a little pool section, spoilers. So there is some water, I guess. But right now I'm doing some lineups to grab these fire alarms. What? These alarm clocks. As fast as I can once I get teleported back. Do a frame perfect trick. Haha, funny. We couldn't have a speedrun without a pun in there somewhere, right? Alright, moving into the trippy portion of this level. The entire level just gets flipped on its side, quite literally. I'm going to launch myself up with this door, hopefully. Climb inside this door, this little secret area for a chest piece, and a fire extinguisher. Struggle to get out of the doorway again. That's fine. I see a really kind chat message. I need to read it. Games, give me a second. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, actually. Thank you. I booted so hard my chair broke. Oh no. I don't want to break your chair. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the room. Oh well. climb back up. Oh, I broke it. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Chairs, why? What I was trying to do there by lining myself up on the side of the room was there's a support beam underneath the floor that you can grab if you line yourself up right, but I only know the lineup on the other side of the room, so oops. Revenge of the pun, exactly. The game had to get back at me for saying the bad pun. Another slide launch here with this cube. Jump up, grab this. This blueprint. Tried to do a fancy jump to skip having to do this, but unfortunately missed it. It is a pretty inconsistent and difficult jump to get, so I would have popped off if I did get it, but I'm not too upset that I didn't. Another slide launch. This level is full of them. I apologize. With this knight here to grab this chest piece on top of this light. And be careful not to grab that cube behind me because it will transport me to the next section of the level, and I don't want that yet because I need to grab this blueprint. So now I can grab it. Excuse me. Go into this constellation room, which casually playing this game for the first time took me forever to find. But also watching other other streamers playing this game for the first time, excuse me, they found it like just completely accidentally, and I am super jealous because it took me so long. Bring this cube with me so that I can actually get through the rest of the level. So yeah, this section of the level deals with a lot of teleportation, so I need to remember not to grab this cube here, because once I let go of it, where did I go? Once I jump down here, I teleport, grab that checkpoint, so that when I grab this alarm, I can reset to that checkpoint. Tiny time save, let's go! Do this elevator maze, which there is a set path to get through. A lot of people playing the game for the first time, including myself, assume it's random and you have to follow the arrows, because there are arrows that tell you where to go if you do get lost. But if you know the path, it's not too bad. Walk into the corners of this parking lot so that we can jump on top of this chair and on top of this building to grab our last blueprint of the level. And just like that, we're moving into the final level of the game. And the level with the most just shenanigans and just brain meltiness. So if your brain wasn't already melted out of your ear, prepare for it to actually genuinely be. Because I'm going to be going back to the start of the level like 4 times and going out of bounds in like a different place every single time. So I'm sorry in advance, but also you're welcome because this level is so cool. So by jumping onto those boxes and putting the building through the ceiling, we kind of also loud noise. I apologize, I forgot. The way this level is laid out is it's on this giant plane, like above, next to, somewhere, nearby the starting room. So if you place the building through the ceiling in various different places, you can reach different parts of that giant floor that the entire level is just spread out across. For example, if we place the building through the ceiling here, we can teleport to one of the final rooms of the entire level. and grab, where did you go? Grab the building, stand up here, grab that blueprint while we're here, place the portal through another portal, because the way you're meant to progress through this level, if you were to play the game like it's meant to be played, which is stinky, you're supposed to create a sort of paradox within the first room of the level by placing a portal into itself, and to prevent soft locks, the game resets the player size back down to its original level, and it doesn't really check for which portal you put it through. So if you put it through any portal, you'll get reset down to size 1. And we're actually finishing up the run in like a few seconds, like 30 seconds. So we're going out of bounds one final time through this wall, and we're actually going to be placing the portal right next to the end trigger for the level, just like that. And time will be as soon as I click this final alarm clock in this level. So that is time. With a final time in-game of 28:28.2. RTA about 29:40. And just to confirm the all collectibles achieved, we're going to come into the level select menu and just confirm, because I was sure I missed at least one. Darn, that stinks. Where did I... Oh, I know exactly where I missed that one. That sucks. Oh well. I would like to think it's a .28. I would too. I did miss a few. That's stinky. Oh well. I can get this one because I do know where it was, but the other ones we're just gonna have to be kind of upsetty that I missed. But this one, I can say for absolutely certain, is right inside of this vending machine right here. Most collectibles speedrun, yes. But anyway, thank you for the GGs. Sorry for the most of the collectibles speedrun. I would like to think I only missed one of each of them. So one fire extinguisher, one alarm and extinguisher. So we got, I mean, out of like 180, we got most of them, which I am happy with. So that's nice. But if you did enjoy this game, because I really do, and you want to see more of it at some point, because I stream sometimes on Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/TheeMaskedMango. That's the with 2 E's because it looked kind of cool, I guess. But I speedrun a whole bunch of puzzle games, platformers, a bunch of indie games. So if indie games are your vibe, come hang out. Otherwise, I want to give a special shout out to Self Mind for letting me know about Jon Summer-thon and sending me the invite link to the Discord and letting me know about this whole thing, because this was a lot of fun. Kind of sad that I couldn't submit to run until like super late in the marathon, but schedules and such were kind of mean. But I'm glad I managed to get in with this one. This was a lot of fun. So thank you for having me.